Right. I think we are live. Okay, here we go. So, what we are doing today, and if anybody wants to watch the full screen version, you can go to youtube.com/ at Kent_HE. That's KENT_HE. Today, um, my team has helped me done some research and looked at a lot of zip codes from North Carolina and helped me pick apart a few zip codes that specifically had a few zip codes where if you guys can look at the screen. So let me see, show this on Instagram really quick. If you can see that she has helped me pull down the crime score when the crime score on top app was still out of like 1100. And she also helped me pick apart what the median sales price was, some of the school ratings, and also what the bedroom and the rent to average median sales price ratio was. Now, a lot of folks ask me, how do I determine what market to invest in? Well, I think of it as, well, how do you actually use some data to even figure out whether or not that market is the right one for you? Because if you have some data, then at least you can figure out, okay, my target was really fuzzy, but now I can get a little bit more clarity, and maybe I can look at these specific zip codes so that I can try to figure out whether or not this area is for me. Now, today we're this property in 27704 zip code, and you can tell, come through here. Let's kind of pull this in there. At 27704, here is a small area FMR, and I'll pull this up in HUD as well. Crime index was 300. That was a crime index score for where I live, so I feel pretty good about that area. School ratings are pretty good. You got some 8s, you got some 9s, and then you got a 0.61% rent to median sales price. Now, on a conventional purchase that probably might not cash flow, but maybe it works for a creative finance deal. But let's see how far off we are. So using this research, and I will share this with my community members in the affordable housing and real estate investing Facebook group, just because I want to continue helping my community and continue to grow it and help people just start to figure out more and more about what potential areas might look for so that they can determine their buy boxes a little bit easier. Now, let's look at this property. So this is in 27704. And let's add some pictures together. Let's see. Some carpeting, but for the most part, this property looks pretty rent ready, assuming that someone's already living there. You're assuming everything is kind of working well. Got a little office there. So it's a 4-bedroom home. Take a look around the neighborhood. If you saw the neighborhood that we're looking at yesterday in North Carolina and Charlotte, so 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedroom, 4 bedrooms, and then there's a kitchen dining room. Okay, that's a pretty good floor plan. All right, let me look at the street view really quick. Not a lot of junk that I'm seeing. No boarded homes like I was seeing yesterday. Yeah, nothing terrible. It kind of works well with the crime score. And again, if you want to look at the crime score yourself, you can go to tophap.com, TOPJP.com. All right. So next thing we do is we always want to Google and look for the fair market rents, which is the FMR. Now, when you come here, you can just Google HUD FMR, click on that, and then scroll down to small area FMRs. Look up small areas FMRs. And for this property, let's see what county this is in. Control find county. This is in Durham County. Whoops, North Carolina. Durham County. Boom. There's your Durham County. 27704. 27704. All right, awesome. And then now I'm going to plug in these numbers just like we always do. And this is a, remember correctly, this is a 4-bedroom. 27704. Again, just doing the work. Nothing fancy. 4-bed. 2770. 2340 is the rent. 2340. And the 3-bedroom rent is 1910. Cool. Then we go to affordablehousing.com to get the market rent estimator. So affordablehousing.com, market rent estimator. You can just simply copy and paste the address into here. Boom. Plug in 4 bedrooms. This is already 4-bedroom. I don't need to look at the rents for a 3-bedroom. So interesting enough, you see that the rent here for 25 units within 2.18 mile radius is 1901. So I'm going to use that and assume that is going to be my floor rent. My high scenario is going to be this 2340 number right here. And the reason I want to get these rents for the market is because the housing authority has a test. It's called the rent reasonableness test. And they do not want any signs of you charging an extra rent just simply because the tenant is a voucher holder. And they don't want folks to say like, oh, all these housing choice voucher holders are moving to the area and they're driving the rents up. That's not the message that they're trying to do. They want to make sure that they are subsidizing rents that are based off of what the market dictates in that specific area. Cool. All right, let's go grab our property taxes. Property taxes here is $150. So put that in here. Insurance here is $112, and I always add a 20% premium to it, just because usually that homeowner insurance number that is on Redfin, that's usually for primary residence. Usually the insurance for a rental property is going to be a lot higher simply because it is a rental property, so you might be subject to a little bit more liability. But again, that's not something that I personally know, but that is just something that typically happens. Now, I'm not an insurance expert, so don't ask me for insurance advice. Let's take this out. There's no sewer. I got 8% for property management, 3% for vacancy. I got 10% for my war chest, which is also what I call as my maintenance expense. Something has to break at your home eventually at some point. It could be either due to the roof, the water heater, the HVAC, whatever it is. You should be setting aside some money every single month because something will eventually break, and you should never ever take out that cash flow because that cash flow belongs to the home and some anticipated repairs. Now, this property is currently priced at $286,000, $286,000. Okay, so for this property, I'm gonna assume that I need to repaint the whole house because right now there's somebody living in there. So I'm gonna go to this calculator. Typically, I set aside $1,500 to. Let me take a short in this. There we go. $1,500. So let's see if I can fit this all in the screen. Cool. Roof repair, $1,500 just in case there's something in the roof that I can't see. I always set aside $500 to clean up any of the landscaping area. For the interior painting, I always assume that I'm going to paint something to $1,324, and then if I want, I can replace the flooring. For right now, I might just assume that I need to replace the carpet in the entire area, $1,324, just because typically I don't like leaving carpet, but I want to make sure that I have some sort of budget in there. You think it's okay because someone's living there, but you probably want it to just switch out to LVP so that it can be a little bit more hardy in anything. Sink faucet, add extra bedroom. As I go down here, I set aside $2,500 to replace a water heater just in case. I assume there's no termite issues if someone's living in there, but if they do find anything, I assume that I can get a credit for this one here. So at $286,000, assuming I can get $1,910 rent, or 1901. Let me do 1901. This would be my floor rent, okay? And right now, this is assuming, and if you want to see the full screen version, this is assuming an 8.5% interest rate right now. And right now, I would be losing $432 a month. Minus 432, 1901. And this is a negative 6.5% return. This assumes a purchase price of $286,000. Cool. Now I want to look at my best case scenario. What if the best case scenario is $2,340? Because that is the fair market rent. And at $2,340, this is now a negative $85 cash flow property. And this is a negative 1.3% cash on cash return. Again, assuming $286,000. Now, this is obviously not a deal for me because I never want to reach into my pocket to be covering my expenses for this property. Now, some folks might say, oh, the rent is $23.40, but your PITI is only $16.49 and $19.30. So you should technically make $400. But they always forget about the maintenance and the property management and vacancy expenses. Someone always moves out eventually. You're going to have some emptiness in your unit. You should be accounting for property management, because if you're really in this to scale and you're not trying to manage property yourself and you don't have good understanding of landlord tenant laws, you should not be managing the property yourself. That just seems really risky to me. Again, this is not investment advice. I'm not asking for any investments. It's not solicitation for any investments. Let me put this rehab calculator. That didn't carry through. 17,407. Cool. Now it's even worse. All right. Well, if I want to lower my asking price to get to a 17% return on my money, what price do I need to purchase at? 125, 130, 135. Well, to me now, I say, okay, well, if I see a property for $135,000 in Durham, North Carolina, which seems unrealistic, and I can get the maximum rent, I would now be cash flowing $785 a month, and this would now give me a 17.3% cash on cash return. Hopefully this helps you guys on how I determine what my buy box is, theoretically and technically, because I think this just comes from practice. Again, this spreadsheet that I've done some research in, I will put this into our free Facebook group. It's called Affordable Housing and Real Estate Investing. I'm going to put this one in there, and I want to share this with the community and get some feedback and see what else you guys might want to know or not know. Completely up to you guys. The only thing I would caution is that sometimes my assistant will have grabbed the FMR instead of the small area FMR. FMR just means it's at the county level, so you might have gotten a more broad number. I think the best way to go and understand what yours might be is going to still be going to HUD, small FMR, so you actually get the specific rent by the zip code in these areas. All right, awesome. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll be back tomorrow analyzing another deal together. Have an awesome day, and we are out.